but not the least, do not ever forget your alma mater. You would be the alumni of this great institution. The relationships with this institution for everybody else who is working here will come to an end when they retire from the job. But for you, the relationship will last forever. God bless you all. Jai Hind. Now I would request Honorable Chief Guest Padma Bhushan Sri F.C. Kohli sir to give his address.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the chairman and the director for having me here today. What I want to share with you that education is a starting point of learning, and the learning never ends. And most of us will find something different all the time. I want to introduce myself to start with, not that it is necessary, but I thought I worked for over 64 years. The first 18 years was spent in power system and engineering, looking after the Tata power system, and 31 years in information technology and computers. Last 15 years, I have been working on engineering education, school education, adult literacy, computers, and recently on agriculture, which is not my subject or knowledge. Transistors were invented in 1949 when I was completing my master's at MIT. And there were hardly any digital devices or computers. They were analog computers. I'm mentioning this to illustrate that during my working life, I had to work with a technology which was not developed at the time of my graduation. And this will apply to most of you who are graduating today. Most of you will have a working life of 40 years. And during these years, you will most probably have 4 distinct careers. 2 of these careers will be in technologies that are not even known today. This would mean for you that they are necessary to keep on learning throughout your working life. My main task has been in working career was building professionals. The objective was to enable them to achieve their potential and creative abilities, to demonstrate the value of excellence, and to stress and provide for their continuing learning. These were aimed at building an uninterrupted commitment to self and continuing education. It is the interest of the enterprises to provide continuing education to the employees as it builds excellence and leads to more productive and challenging work not only for you, but for the country. The education process comprises of 4 types of learning activities. You have lectures, tutorial sessions, personal study, practice and discussion with fellow students. Lectures present the concept in a subject domain in an orderly and coherent framework for ready comprehension and attention. They also expose students to thinking process and points of view of the lecturer. Tutorials foster interaction among students as well as between the tutor and the students. I want to emphasize that there is strong correlation between economy and education. People don't realize it. Also, it is continuing education that sustains the economic growth. So you can see what your role will be in this country and to keep this country going up. While the future of education and learning will be supplemented and transformed by the new machine-based digital environment, education and learning itself will remain deeply human endeavors, conducted mainly from person to person. A university such as yours will remain as an essential element for providing the most effective education that will enhance the cognitive process, stretch students' comprehension and abilities, teach them to learn how to learn. That is the most important, how to learn. And stimulate discovery and understanding of concept. It also develops the capacity to address unstructured problems which you will face many in life and find solutions to the complexity. Education for you who are graduating today will become a lifelong phenomenon. You will depend on digital media, the internet, digital devices, and many other systems yet to be developed. For you, as I earlier said, continuing education and learning is must. With electronic learning and virtual environment, new modes of interaction will come into play. It will be possible to extend quality education opportunity to all our people. I'm hoping that we'll do that. We'll be able to design education to meet learning aspirations of the young people and women, regardless of their social and economic background. All disciplines of engineering will use digital technology to enhance teaching, simulation, and experimentation. While on learning, I would like to emphasize that modern world is becoming increasingly dependent on technological systems and growing complexity. This is an accelerated evolution of knowledge in digital technology, biotechnology, material sciences, nanotechnology, and many other domains of knowledge. New phenomena are pervasive in every branch of technology. What is more important is that new knowledge adds to what we already have. It is accretion of knowledge rather than replacement. I also Want to underline, there's a large set of population which remains illiterate. There's almost 100 million adults who are illiterate in this country. There's deterioration of learning in primary and secondary schools. Yesterday there was something on the schools. School education of concerned schools provide new material for higher education. We need to address this crisis for the future of our country. Mere political, economic, social, and ethical considerations will not be enough unless we make our people literate, provide basic education to all, build skill and educational curricula, and enable all those who need advanced education to enter colleges and universities. Am I doing something? Regarding engineering education, we need to evolve a strategy for enhancing quality. Today we have over 1,200 engineering colleges, many of them, which I know, without adequate faculty, laboratories, and libraries. Also, the syllabus is somewhat outdated and does not meet the present and the future needs of this country. I found most of the top engineering colleges which are part of a university. The university has not revised its curriculum for 10 or 11 years. Even in 50s, at MIT they revised the coursework every 3 to 6 months. And if we say technology is changing, then let the coursework also change. There's another thing which is prevalent most of the universities in India. That is their curriculum. You have mathematics only for 1 year. How a person is going to cope up with the life of 40 years in technology with 1 year of math? We have in Maharashtra introduced in 2 or 3 colleges and as an experiment math for all the 4 years. It's not that you will need math, but math makes you think. Math gives you that facility which is no other subject gives. And I believe I had some sort of a debate with the education department of Maharashtra government because they didn't see the need for it. And I had to finally tell them that I did 2 courses in math in my master's at MIT. We need top-class engineers for this country. Innovate the engineering processes, foster creative product development, and meet faculty requirements. You have to build strong and world-class graduate schools in engineering, leading to research, more masters and doctorate. We have 50 to 60 colleges which admit. Before this, I said there are 3 constituents in education: the students, the coursework, and the faculty. We have 50 to 60, it may be more than that, colleges that admit students who have scored 90% plus marks at 10 plus 12. We have to need to look after them so that they remain committed to education and technology. We have experimented with a college in Pune, which the admission cutoff was at 90%. After 6 years, we have brought it, the undergraduate, to IIT level with Bombay IIT regulation.